Hi, Zachary Misko. I'm at the HRO Today Forum, North America in Chicago, and I'm here with Johnny Campbell, CEO of Social Talent. And I asked Johnny at the beginning of today to take some notes, to pay attention, and to help those people who were here and maybe missed something, or those of you that could not join us today, to understand some of the things we talked about, what you learned, what you listened to, and some of the points that really stood out as exciting to you in terms of what you heard today at our forum.
Yeah, Zachary, so really good day. Somebody already said something to me that really resonated all through the day and rung true in the content, that this is the kind of event where the people in the audience are usually on the stage, the people on the stage you just don't see elsewhere, and that kind of shone through in the content. We started this morning with some really good icebreakers, networking around the group, which we won, by the way, our table, just saying. We beat the records, but we opened with Peter Capelli. If you don't mind, I'm going to check some notes here. So Peter's from the Wharton School of Business, and Peter opened and closed the day, so to speak. And the morning was more about kind of answering different questions around what's happening. He challenged some great ideas, like he challenged the idea of whether there is this millennial kind of thing, saying, isn't it just people in their 20s, and there's always been people in their 20s, and there's people in their 40s, and they just think differently? Is that what it's about? The audience got into a bit of a debate at that, and it came back up later throughout the day. You were involved in that. I want to ask your opinion on it, but that was interesting. We were talking about innovation and how, quite surprisingly, he said, what decade would you say is the most technological innovation in the last 50 years? Of course, we're going to say the noughties, or when phones like this were around, but it's the 60s, and I've read the same research that says we've actually slowed down on our innovation, although we think it's happening all around us. We're tweaking things rather than creating brand new ideas, maybe with the exception of the internet. As we talked about that, how, will robots take over our jobs? And we talked about no, because the cost of capital in terms of human capital is dropping for those volume roles, so there's no real need to replace them. Some really good ideas in that, which actually he then touched on performance appraisals, which bookended the day. He went back to that topic and fleshed it out at the end of the day. And I thought it was fascinating because, as an owner of a small business, I'm thinking about, I need to bring in performance appraisals for our 60 staff, and you've got people in the room, we've got 200,000 people working for their firms, and we all kind of hate it, and that's what Peter was saying. It's a pain, but he shared some insights in terms of organizations like Accenture, who were in the audience confirming this, were moving away from that and making it more about constant conversations, short chats with your staff, and giving that constant feedback, not waiting till the end of the year, which I thought was really, really good. We had two great panels today with CHROs on the panel. The first panel was wonderful. It was a free-flowing conversation about more about what's on the mind of different individuals. It was chaired by Jen from SAS. She's great, isn't she?
She is. She's been with us 3 years now, so it's always nice to have her come back and participate.
But she kind of felt like she couldn't give her own opinion sometimes because she was a chair. She was great. She had great opinions on that. She was joined by Michelle from FHRI Hotels, Matthew from Atlac, Kimberly from Caterpillar, and Pat, who's the CHRO of LinkedIn. She gave me an idea that's just, I think the day was full of these ideas. She talked about how in LinkedIn they have a bring your parent to work day. I jumped on we have a WhatsApp group with our leadership team, and I was like, guys, I love this idea. Can we do it? And then we had this whole conversation. Everyone was super excited about it. We're going to do it. And that's what we did. I just hope that other people were so inspired with some of the ideas. There was so much more about, whether you're, taking approach with talent where you're almost bringing like a campus university career counselor approach into your teams, kind of saying, don't just do performance appraisals and everything else, but talk to your teams about what is their potential, what should they be doing, what could they be doing, and giving them guidance from the HR's office to kind of say, we'll help you get there, and the business wants that from you, which was really, really good. There's stories about hackathons and coming up with great ideas. Michelle talking about employer branding. She said she had 8,000 openings last year and 460,000 applicants. A lot of people were killed for that, but it's the power of a good employer brand, which was really, really good. And a lot of diversity stuff brought up in the conversation as well. Kind of no one topic today. I know there's one tomorrow, but it was peppered throughout some of those conversations around what does diverse talent look like? Are we hiring for them? In particular, again, back to Pat from LinkedIn said they're bringing in this idea of diversity, inclusion, and belonging, which I haven't heard this B part, this DIB anagram, which is wonderful, which is kind of, she said, diversity is more about the stats. Are we diverse? We are or we aren't. Your pipeline goals. Inclusion is more about our benefits and practices are fair, but this idea of belonging is, can people be their true emotional selves in work? Or do they feel included in the team? Which I just love that idea. So, by the way, awards being given out left, right, and center to some brilliant people. Right. And then you got to hear their thoughts throughout the day. So the afternoon was just full of more of that. The second session, again, different angle, more talking about how HR can move towards chief executive officer and what are those obstacles, and some great stories. Tim from San Diego Zoo shared his story of moving into a project where he's talking about the centennial celebrations of the zoo, and whilst he still manages HR, he's now in a total different realm, talking about construction, talking about marketing efforts and stuff. So that was really inspiring. So I guess day one was packed with ideas, loads of food for thought. We're going to go have beers tonight and the comedy club, hopefully talk about some of those things, and bring back tomorrow for day two.
That's great. I appreciate it. Thank you for that recap, Johnny. And would do me a favor, meet me here tomorrow, and let's recap day two and let everyone else know what they missed on tomorrow's agenda.
Let's do it.
Thanks. Have a great time at the party.
Same to you.
Johnny. Cheers.